Oh, so I just wanted to make a quick video here to let you know some good news. I finally made a Richard Dots playlist. So I'm going to put a link above to the new Richard Dots playlist, and I'll also put a link below in the description. For those of you who don't know, Richard Dots is a great modern law of attraction type of teacher. He's certainly helped me a lot implement these principles. His sensibility and general recommendations I've just always loved and really resonated with. And I at this point we've made several videos, as well as I've done several podcast episodes about Richard's approach. So I'm glad to finally have put together a playlist. I was slow putting together playlists in general for this channel because it started when I started talking about the law of attraction stuff. I was doing it so informally, and I was still doing the podcast more regularly. So I was just kind of throwing stuff up there. And then, I made a Neville playlist and an Emile Coué playlist. And there's, there's I think over 100 videos on Neville and approaching 100 on Coué now on their approaches. But we've made a lot of smaller playlists as well. And I think with this Richard one, I think I've covered most of the main law of attraction, law of assumption, whatever you want to call them, type teachers that that I often talk about in these videos, and that have probably influenced me the most. I think I've covered almost all of the main ones that I really come back to on this channel again and again, and in my own life come back to. Their teachings are now have their own separate playlists. Just thinking off the top of my head, besides Coué and Neville, we've got the H. Emily Cady one, we've got the Joel Goldsmith one, we've got multiple playlists of Joseph Murphy talking about different things from his book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. We've got some Emmett Fox 7-Day Mental Diet stuff there. I'm forgetting. We got Maxwell Maltz. We got a playlist of Maxwell Maltz stuff. So if you go to my playlists on my channel, you'll see all these, as well as just some of the other playlists I've done. I'll mention it again because it's one of my favorite things I've ever done, whether it be book form or video or podcast. Is this playlist I did a little bit over a year ago called the Inner Supply series. You know what? I'll put a link above to that one as well. That really ties in well with a lot of the money work we've been talking about recently. My book, Money Your Friend, a lot of the concepts on more of a, you could say spiritual or energetic level are explored in that Inner Supply series playlist. So if you liked Money Your Friend, you'd probably like that playlist as well. So yeah, this is just some good housekeeping. Other news that might interest you is, I posted a few things on Reddit. Cecilia's posted a few things on Reddit. We're trying to get a temperature for what's going on Reddit now and whether it'd be worthwhile to have a small subreddit page. Feel free to comment in the or email me if you have any thoughts about that. It's looking like we're not going to do it. It's looking too crazy to try to do that. I will link in the description to a post I put on Reddit yesterday, and you'll see. And I thought I knew that this post was going to stir a little bit of controversy because it was talking about action. But at the same time, I thought a pretty respectful, common sense post, the kind of thing that we talk about on this channel all the time, and nobody bats an eye. On Neville Reddit, people do more than just bat an eye. So if you want to get a really good sense of the degree of what I would say spiritual bypassing that's going on places like the Neville subreddit and most, very popular manifesting social media places, check out that post. It might interest you, might help you, but also check out some of the comments, see how crazy it gets, so quickly. Very interesting. But yeah, Richard Dots, I just want to briefly touch upon this One reason I like Richard's approach so much is he talks about how it's okay to just like not be worried about like your desires or anything. Like just get to that place where like you feel good, or you feel neutral, you know? Sometimes like saying feeling good like adds pressure to it, but like more if you just get to this neutral place, right? And if you do that more of the time, you will probably find your life gets better. Not only do you feel better, but your life will probably get better. Richard really explains this beautifully. And something that I've done a lot and have been doing more over the last half year, 9 months or so, and I discussed in the summertime about this, is just sitting, finding times during the day when I have the time to just sit. Like literally just sit down, usually with my eyes opened, and just sit there and not judge anything. Just sit there, just be there. And like this is basically like, like unplugging, right? Unplugging. I did a video talking about Richard's approach. I think it was called Disconnecting the Power Supply, where I read from his great book, Dissolve the Problem. I'll put a link to that video above. When you just disconnect from the power supply or unplug, it's very powerful. You're not trying to imagine anything or feel anything specific or anything like that. You're just unplugging, vibing out. And it's like super powerful to do this. I'll put a link as well above to, I think I'm out of links probably that I can put above. If I can, I'll put a link above to the seminar I did about just kind of sitting and like sitting down and just chilling out a couple times a day. A seminar we had about it last summer as well. But yeah, if you're just confused as to like about all this manifesting stuff, or like what you should quote unquote do, something that's really simple to do is to just sit. Allow yourself just to sit for 10 or 15 minutes in the morning or in the evening or in the middle of the day and not judge yourself. Just see what happens. And if you can, do it a couple times a day. This links also in with Money Your Friend, where, in the first habit I described in that book, I talk about statements and, identifying your high ideal. But then I say you just sit. That's what this is too. Just sitting. Just sitting. No judgment. That's a really straightforward way to let go and let God, is to do that. And we can make that more of a practice. So yeah, I gave you a ton of links here, bunch of good housekeeping. And yeah, that's about it. If you'd like a free consultation with me, if you have questions for me that you think I might be able to help you with, by all means, feel free to contact me at info@radicalcounselor.com. And yeah, we'll have a free group session, I think, sometime soon. I'll give you the dates when I figure out when that will be. But yeah, enjoy the Richard Dotts playlist and the other playlists I mentioned if that stuff interests you. And until next time, enjoy.